Hey friends, welcome back. With our family's summer vacation quickly approaching, it is time to give our home a strong reset. We are not quite ready to pack our bags, but today we're going to be doing one of my favorite things before a trip, resetting the house and garden so that everything feels calm, clean, and ready when we come back home. I'm a big believer that how we leave our home affects how we return to it. So come along as we tidy up, tend to the garden, prep some easy systems, and get everything vacation ready, cottage style. First up, I like to focus on the kitchen and living room, just the heart of the home. So I start with dishes, wipe down counters with my favorite homemade all-purpose spray. I use this a lot throughout our home because of how effective and inexpensive it is. It lasts forever. And the only ingredients that you need to make it are a cup of distilled white vinegar, 1 cup water, 1 tablespoon baking soda, and then 10 to 15 drops of essential oil. I like to use lemon and tea tree oil, lavender, just a different mix of things. I'm not an essential oil expert, but they smell really good. Lemon helps to get that extra scrub and elbow grease factor, and they're just really, really effective. The work of our kitchen just never seems finished all the way, but as long as my counters are clean, the floor is swept, and dishes are out of the sink, I find it so very peaceful and comforting to just make this my home office for however much of the day is necessary. So we've had some harvested okra and green beans sitting on our counter for a few days, which obviously needed to be stored before we left town. So I turned on a worship playlist, lit a candle, and just began snapping beans while water heated to a boil. The girls were at my grandmother's house, and I just took full advantage of this opportunity to do something mindless, to listen to some great music, to sing along, to just take my time and slow down a bit. Last year was the first year we actually reaped any kind of produce since expanding our garden, and the learning curve for food preservation felt tremendous. This was likely due to already being tired from learning how to sow seeds, care for the plants, and then understanding when those plants were finishing up with their growing season. So I half expected to feel the same this year. However, I have been so pleasantly surprised by how much information we retained over the winter. So now instead of the process feeling daunting, it's actually quite therapeutic. And finally, to finish up in the kitchen, I just make sure that the fridge is cleared out of anything that will not last while we are gone. I toss or compost what's no longer useful to us, give some to the chickens if it's something that they might enjoy, freeze what needs saving, and then try to move any snacks or drinks that we will pack for the trip in our cooler into a central location within the refrigerator so that they are easy to grab quickly. Our route will be taking us through the heart of downtown Atlanta, and anytime this is the case, we either try to leave very early in the morning in order to beat morning rush hour traffic, or we hold off and leave much later in order to pass through the city about midday. However, with a full week ahead already and a lot of fun, exciting plans, we are trying to get there with a decent amount of time to rest, which means we are trying to start our travels no later than about 4 in the morning. With that being said, we need to be able to pack this cooler quickly, tuck away any last-minute items into our bags, and get on the road as easily as possible. And then I do a quick reset of the living space, so just straightening up the pillows, folding the blankets, giving the floor a good vacuum. Straightening the girls' art table is a necessary chore often. They are incredibly creative, and I will never try to discourage that. However, they do create better when the space is organized from time to time. Not to mention how much cleaner the entire room feels when this area alone stays well maintained. Nothing about this process is fancy, just simple rhythms that make a really big difference when we walk back through the door after some time away. Next, I do a light load of laundry, mostly what we'll need for the trip and anything I don't want sitting in the basket for a week. I've been working really hard to get completely caught up so that there won't be piles waiting on my return. Sometimes we'll even wash a load at our hotel the night before we head home just to simplify the process of settling back in when we do get here. So while that's going, I tackle the bathroom. Wipe down the sink really good, spray down the shower, always give the toilet a good clean, take out the trash and straighten up a bit as I think through how to eventually do a refresh of this space. I've had some people mention that my toothbrushes need to be relocated because of where the toilet is and things that are really gross to think about, but they're right. I simply do not have great options. I actually looked into ordering something like a wall storage unit for toothbrushes, and it also sterilizes. My order got canceled. Still looking into some different things for that, but I just want to give this whole space a makeover in time. I have a vision, but I'm not sure how to incorporate all of the functionality that it also needs, as it is our only bathroom in the house for 4 people. Regardless, I'm reminded that I'm not striving for perfection or Pinterest worthy at the moment, simply clean and welcoming for weary travelers who are coming back home. I keep our bedroom simple before vacation. I just change the sheets if it's been a while, make the bed neatly, and tidy the nightstands. It's like giving future me a little reassurance that I have earned the right to relax. After all, we hope to be greeted by fresh sheets and a nice smelling room on vacation, so why would I want to come home and not have that same experience? Well, that's what Annie picked, so I just did yours the same.
Lots of butter and I used to bake. So and I used to work her without batteries. You have to get a well. Okay, I can get it. And my medicine will help me.
Outside in the garden, I am rushing to beat a storm that seems to be coming over the mountain, but I tried to harvest as many flowers as possible so that I could give them to some friends or family. My mother-in-law actually had a birthday coming up the week that we were going to be out of town, so we left her a little bouquet as a sweet birthday treat. But just trying to get the flowers out of the garden to bless someone who would be around to enjoy them, as well as give the flowers a chance to have completely new buds ready to be harvested by the time we returned. I've said it once and I will say it a million times. I feel like flowers are just so underrated. They give and they give and they give. They require so little from the soil and from the worker, but they just keep giving and loving and making people so happy. They make me so happy, and I'm just so excited by flowers. So I have really loved growing them. We do some crops, but honestly, if I could just cover every inch of my yard in flowers for bouquets and just for the season, it would make my heart so very happy. I used to always dream of having a you-pick flower farm, and maybe in time that'll still happen. I'm still working on trying to convince my husband that that's actually a good idea and that it could maybe make a little bit of a profit, but in reality, I just really want it. It's not something that I could present like a whole business plan to him and trust that it's going to be successful. It's just something that I think would be beautiful. Thankfully, we have family that lives nearby who they are willing to take care of our chickens and water our garden while we are away. They're not really gardeners themselves, so I don't expect them to be tending to the garden, but just simply making sure that there is water on it each day will do my heart so much good and help me enjoy where we are so much more. If you are new here, we garden on a small budget, but with a whole lot of heart, and this little patch just means the world to us. We call it our little piece of Eden. So this is very much something that we do not take lightly. We try to do our very best with, and we just love the ways that God teaches us so much, not just about gardening and producing our own food, being more self-sustainable, but also about Himself. And that's our little home reset before vacation. Simple, affordable steps that make all the difference when we return. If your brain works anything like mine, then I actually put together a vacation reset checklist, which you can print out and use too. It's located over on my website. It's nothing fancy, just a cozy list of home and garden tasks that help me feel settled before we head out the door. You can download it for free. It's linked in the description if you want to grab it. If you enjoyed this slow homemaking moment, I'd love if you'd subscribe and stay a while. I hope this inspires you to create your own rhythms around home and garden care, whether you're leaving for a week or you just want to start fresh. Thanks for coming along with me today. I'm wishing you safe travels, peaceful returns, and cozy beginnings. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.